Hey guys, this is Miss Black with another online art tutorial. This one is going to involve just drawing. We're just going to be drawing a spider web today. And there's going to be a link to a video to watch about how some spiders weave their webs with their silk. And there's like the whole process. So I would definitely suggest watching that video before you start this project. But basically it talks about the whole process and how it goes through anchor threads before it gets to the actual thing. So we're going to go through the process that a spider goes through to make their web. And so the first thing that they do is they make their anchor thread. So like I said, before you do this, make sure you watch that video first. It actually is really cool, and it kind of shows a spider building their web in time-lapse, which is really incredible. And then, so like the video, we're going to draw a web, but we're also going to draw our spider that's waiting for dinner in the middle. So go ahead and watch that video and then jump back on here. We are to 1 minute and 15 seconds, and we'll go from here. So the first thing we're going to draw is that anchor thread. So, oh, I should mention you need a piece of paper and something to draw with today. That could be a pencil. I'm going to be using a pen today. So what you're going to do is you're going to draw that anchor thread and bring it all the way down. And this is what the spider uses to start their web. They've got this thread that they've stuck to the bottom and the top, and then they kind of crawl around and they anchor that in a few other places. So this will be my center, and maybe it'll go out like this. It's sticking to maybe some branches or something. Okay, and it will start doing that until it realizes this is a really steady, stable place to start building my web. And so what it'll do from this point, it's going to make sure that it has enough spokes. And a spoke, if you've ever seen like a tire wheel of a bike, you've got your circle, your wheel, and then you got your center of your wheel. And so these lines that go outward to stabilize that wheel, those are called spokes. Well, it's no different with a spider web. So we're going to be drawing our spokes from the middle, going out, and the spider will not start to build the lines going around it until it has enough spokes, because it needs that it needs to be able to move freely from spoke to spoke. And if we drew a spoke this far away, the spider would not find it easy to get to this spoke. So you're going to want to make sure that you're giving your spider not too big of a distance to jump to make its web. So we're going to start with these spokes, and they don't have to be perfectly distanced from each other. I'm going to keep drawing those. And these are those anchor ones. Oh, see, that one would be too far, so I'm going to draw another one. And this is just a fun little line project you can do at home. It ends up looking really cool. And the spider spends a long time trying to make this as perfect as they can. I hope you enjoyed that video. Super informative and also really interesting to see the process. And so you're pretending like you're a little spider that's ready for dinner and wants to catch some food. Lots of spokes. There. Okay, so there's all of the spokes that I'm going to draw. I lost count on how many lines I've drawn. And so what the spider then does after it draws all of it, or creates rather all of its spokes, it starts this little thing in the middle that gives it a place to go. I think you kind of saw that in the video. Okay, but we're not going to keep drawing that circle-y pattern, because actually, if you remember from the video, they sort of destroy this and make it cleaner. So we're just going to have that in the middle, and that's where actually we're going to put our little spider that's hunting. It actually creates the other lines from the outside. So it kind of crawls up maybe one of these anchor lines, and it draws, or not draws, but creates a line from, like a thread from one to the other. So I know we've got spider webs, you know, in like cartoons and things that look like this, what we've just drawn, all of those spokes, and then you see like these U things like Spider-Man, but that's not really how they make their webs, because that is not strong enough. It's going to be too weak to hold something for it to eat. So you're going to actually be drawing straight lines from one side, and you're going to do you're going to just do the outside, and then all of this is just kind of holding it from, like, maybe this is like a building or a wall or something. So this is the type of thing that they put down for their prey, whatever they're trying to eat. And these lines are going to be somewhat like close together, because if they're too far apart, their prey can fly right through it or jump right through it. So straight lines, and it's like you're creating a spiral, but it doesn't have to look completely round. Maybe I want to go out some places. And then when I get to up here, where we started, you're going to go down inside a little bit more. And then the rest of this, so here's where I started. Oh, sorry, this is where I started. So the next layer is going to be inside a little bit, but make sure that layer isn't too far apart from the previous one. And you're basically just going to keep spiraling in one little line at a time, following that same movement as the previous line until you get to the middle. And I'll finish this on time lapse. But the last thing I want to show you guys before I show you the rest of this on time lapse is you're just going to choose where your little spider buddy is hanging out waiting for its meal. So I'm going to have my spider buddy right here, and I'm just going to kind of teach you how to draw a spider really quickly. Spiders have, like bugs, they have a head, they have a thorax, and they have an abdomen, right? But their abdomen, if they're a female, is really big, so it can have a lot of eggs in there. Or if it's a male, its abdomen is quite small. And their legs, as we know, they have 8, 4 on each side, all come from the thorax. Okay, so keep that in mind as you're creating yours. I'm going to make mine female, so I'm going to start with maybe a head right here. And remember, the head's going to be the smallest, and then I'm going to draw the thorax, maybe slightly bigger. And because it's a female, I'm going to draw the abdomen quite large. I'll color that in. Okay, and then sometimes you might notice spiders having these little, almost like stingers on the back. Right there. And they use that to sometimes deliver their toxins into their prey, but they also have some in their bite, as we well know. If you've ever had a spider bite before, you know it itches. So I'm going to draw my 8 legs, and they're going to be symmetrical, or as symmetrical as you can make them. So I got 1, 2, my next layer of legs. So I got 1, 2 legs. My next layer is going to be slightly longer. Okay, and so the first 2 legs are going to be going upward toward the head. The last 2 legs are going to be going kind of backwards toward the abdomen, but they are going to stay on the thorax. And there's my little spider. I'll draw my last legs right here. Just waiting for her meal. Okay, so there's my little spider waiting for her meal, and the rest of this you'll see on time lapse. But I hope you guys have fun drawing your spider web and learning about spiders today. And have fun. Send me your work. I'd love to see it. Thanks, you guys.